Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is Kaylania, and thank you for stopping by my channel, The Blessed Driver. Please excuse my interior, like the little dash thing, it broke. And so what I would normally keep my cell phone on to record my videos, it's broken, and so I have to get another one. So I had to place my cell phone in an obscure place. I apologize about that. However, if you haven't had a chance to, I have done 3 interviews over the past week and a half. And so that was kind of keeping me preoccupied. One of the interviews was with NBC again, and this was my second interview with NBC News. And this time when the article was published, it was published correctly. Yeah, it was very, very nice. And so I will leave the link down there below. And basically the interview was about my opinion on Uber and Lyft's IPOs dropping, and also how I'm doing as a gig worker. And it was very professional, and I had a great time. And I had another interview with Stride Healthcare, and that was around Mother's Day, and they wanted to interview me because I am a gig worker, and of course I have a YouTube channel, and just wanted to get my perspectives about motherhood, about being an independent contractor and things like that. And so if you are a mother and you are an independent contractor or a business owner, there's a link down there below again, and you will see the interview from Stride Healthcare. And the third interview I had was from House of Gigs, and a big shout out to Pierre. And him and I have been talking back and forth for the past year. So he wanted to ask me some questions, and so he wanted to see how things were on my end as a gig worker and also as an independent contractor. And so the link will be available very soon. I don't believe that they published it just yet. I know that there's been a lot going on in the wonderful world of the gig economy. However, things are changing and evolving. And if you are on the Uber Eats platform, you guys have probably seen the information about how they are changing the pay scale for the Uber Eats drivers, and now they're introducing surges. They are taking away some things. Well, we haven't really gotten too many boosts here in Orlando. We may get boosts like once a week, or maybe once every so many months or weeks, but it's very rare that we get boosts anymore. And so I kind of looked at that as how poorly Uber is allegedly doing on the stock market, and comparing that to how they're paying us. But then at the same time, we're thinking about how much these CEOs of the companies are making. How is it that they can make these millions and billions of dollars and we're not getting paid what we are worth? I looked at that, and it wasn't like I was gloating at the fact that, Uber and Lyft were doing so poorly allegedly on the stock market. However, I'm just still looking at things from a different perspective, because have these CEOs of the companies that are making all this money, and the companies seems like they're doing okay, but yet they're tanking. And so, I just feel like you can't really treat your workers any kind of way and expect to get a positive outcome from that, And despite of how things are on the stock market, they're still making money. But I feel personally, in my own opinion, that a lot of these tech companies are so focused on these self-driven cars, these self-driven everything. And I understand that we're in a different season and we're in a different era in technology and things like that. But at the same time, it's like, that's really not a priority. Like, who really wants to deal with a self-driven car or a self-driven airplane or something like that? Like, no one has time for that, and most people aren't comfortable with that. Like, if you have looked at some of the news, there are so many accidents that have happened, and some people have lost their lives, unfortunately, because of self-driven cars. And so instead of putting those millions and billions of dollars into that type of technology, just focus on the workers and have them to produce the best way that they know how. Things are kind of taking a turn for the worse with some gigs, but that's just part of the technology world. And when the guy from NBC interviewed me the other day, he was asking me certain questions about the stock market and Uber and things like that. But one thing I told him was that I feel like the stock market is just like legalized gambling. It's just like there's a train. Sorry. You're just gambling on a company. That's all it is. It's like a big pool of stuff that you can bet on and let the best man win. That's pretty much what it is. And so you're putting your eggs in certain baskets, and you're hoping a good return on your investment. And sometimes you may make money, sometimes you won't, and things may take a dive, things may take a positive turn for the better. So it depends. I just kind of feel like people are doing what they can do for the moment on any of these gigs. And just like I said in my previous videos about work and how people are looking for work but they can't find anything, or whatever factor it is, and so they still stick with this. I've just been kind of busy. I just think that if a lot of these companies do things the right way initially, there really won't be too many problems. However, people get greedy. They start these business and they don't pay people right, and they try to do other things that they feel like it's going to be popular instead of focusing on the need for the economy as itself. Then that's when a company can tank. And they don't do right by the money, they don't do right by their workers. And so who would want to trust in investing in a company like that? I'm sure that there are other YouTubers that's probably talked about, you know, Uber's IPO and the Lyft IPO and how they tanked and dropped, and you know, and I haven't seen any of those videos because I've been doing my own thing, but I just wanted to keep it simple. Who's to say if the company doesn't get another CEO and maybe change things around? You know, we just don't know. But Uber Eats is trying to make some changes with their pay scale, but some drivers are saying that the surges really isn't going to make a difference because they still don't get paid much, and they've lost some of their quests, some of their boosts, and it's being replaced with the surges, so it's really taking away from what they earn. We don't really have quests too often unless it's like a major holiday or a major event. That's the only time that I see them. On the positive note, I have noticed that my tips have increased dramatically. I would say about 80% of people that I deliver to tip me, and my tips are pretty good. And I think that's because how they changed it to where you can tip the driver beforehand. But I still feel like a tip should be mandatory, especially being that they don't pay us that well. But there are some apps that do that where you have to tip something. To me, in my opinion, it should be no less than like 15%. Some drivers make more money than others, and so that's just the way it is. So not every market's the same, but you know, you guys get my point. For those of you guys that are just kind of pressing through the storm, you know, just keep it moving, just keep pressing, and just try to do the best that you can. You know, I know a lot of gig workers are now starting to invest in Uber. They're trying to buy as much stock as they can, and then they are waiting to see, you know, is it gonna take off, and it might go back up. You know, it might go back up way higher than what it is now or what it was before, and you might make some money from it. So I didn't invest because the guy from NBC asked me that, and I was like, no, I didn't invest in anything. Yeah, I just hope that you guys are gonna have a great day today, and you know, by the time I do my next video, I'll have another little phone holder because mine broke. I hope you ladies had a wonderful Mother's Day. Don't forget to check out the articles below, and don't forget to subscribe to my newsletters, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful day.